Hey, what's going on, crew? So, if you're wanting to crush month one of closing on your offer, then stay tuned because I'm going to break down one of my favorite one calls from last month on my first 1 month that allowed me to achieve a 37% close rate, a roughly 1365 live per scheduled call, 865 cash per book call. So, let's get into it.
Thank you.
Boom, I gotcha. I
Okay.
like is that a virtual background? Is that
Real. Yes, it's virtual. Well, anyways, it looks nice. Thank you.
something that I like to do instead of that? How's the weather going? Or how's your day been? I like to just compliment something on their background or their clothes. Like, hey, that is an immaculate painting. It really adds, you know, it adds gravitas to the background or whatever. It adds a certain level of, essence. And, they always laugh and smile after that. And it shows you're paying attention too. Okay, well let's get right into things here, because it's already you're my last call of the day. So exciting stuff. You're here to, I read your notes, and just to make sure, you're here to talk about the consultant certification program, right?
Correct. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yes. And just for context, this isn't typically what I would do on other offers. However, on mine, sometimes we have a lot of clients, so a lot of people book these calls because they think they're coaching calls. So it's just to just kind of get set this, just to really establish why we're here, make sure there's no confusion. I'm sure you probably have a lot of questions around that, like, how does it all work and all that cool jazz. So,
Right. So I'm not familiar with it. I just heard about it. Oh, how did I hear about it? It was something recently. Um, but anyway, it caught my interest, so I decided to book a call just to get more information about the program, how it works, what it entails, and if I was to join the program, what can I expect once I'm completed with the program?
all right, cool. You've been following, how long you been following Lisa for?
Oh, well, she knows John Todorico, and I was a part of his group. I think it was in 2022, and he introduced us way back when. So I've been following her ever since then.
All right, John Puerto Rico.
Todorico.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
That name sounds familiar. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, there we go. So what we find to work best in these calls, like before going into all the details of the program and how it works, is I just want a crystal clear understanding of like your situation, more about your background, ultimately what your goal is. Based off of that, I can give you more of a custom plan of what the program would actually look like for you. Sound good?
So my background is broad. So um, degrees
So obviously setting a frame.
in psychology with the emphasis on trauma and crisis. And I kind of pivot from that and I went into acquisitions. And I've been doing contracting work for about maybe 6 years now. And I have an interest in IT/AI. And within probably the last 2 years, I've been trying to learn more about the future of AI and how it can actually be implemented, not just in my personal life, but how I can make a profit out of it. And it's just something that I've been interested in, but I haven't formally pursued anything to hone in on those skills. So um, that's it in a nutshell.
Cool, cool. How come you haven't formally pursued anything yet until now?
That's a very
Tacking the zombie head on. It's like, oh, I haven't taken action. Why?
good question because I have been exploring I guess the capabilities of AI and maybe just not took the step to formally get educated in it because I don't know how to utilize it beyond my own personal use.
So it's kind of like been kind of like in research mode, but also it seems like there's a lot of information that we just don't know how to apply.
Yes, I would say that's accurate.
Okay, cool. So putting a good label so they feel understood. And also, when she's like, oh, that's a good question. She's really listening, really engaging. I think that was my step.
No, I mean that's basically it. It's the application because there's so many different platforms and ways to use the technology, but how to use it in a meaningful way. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's literally thousands of ways you can make money online with AI, and
Hmm.
some of them are great. One of the best ones we've seen is being an AI consultant, which is why we created the certification program for it. But
Hmm.
basically, in a nutshell, all that means is being able to take the scariness of AI and turn it into easy action steps for other people and businesses.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like it's kind of like how someone goes to school to become an electrician,
Hmm.
and and after 3 months they confidently walk out with all the skills that they need to like fix the electric problems in a house. That's
Hmm.
pretty much like the same goal that we accomplish with our students in the AI consultant certification program, is to allow them to be able to do that and give
The
them.
confidence and clear right now. Okay.
So um so more on that later. So you've been doing contracting acquisition because she's like, oh, there's so much stuff and all that. I said, like, yeah, and all of them can be great. This is one of the ones we like the best, which is why we're doing what we're doing. Briefly explain what it is, use the metaphor to make it super easy to understand. You said
Acquisition, right? Correct. Yes. Yeah.
what actually is that? What do you do on a day-to-day basis?
So initially, when I went, I did mostly pre-award contracting. So that's putting solicitations together for the needs of the buyer based on either the service, supplies, etc., and then putting out bids to different vendors, and the vendors compete for the service. And based on the packet that they submit, we do a comparison process to see who's the best vendor to get the contract. And then we meet with the contractor, whoever won the bidding process, and they'll tell us more about how they're going to provide the service or the supplies to us. And after that, we agree on a date in which they're going to deliver, and we go from there. And so once the item or supply is delivered, then we go ahead with the make sure they got paid, make sure we're satisfied, and we'll go ahead and close out that action, and that's complete. So that's a gist of the pre-award. Now, post-award is slightly different. This happens after the contractor has been awarded the contract. They're actively working on the contract, so we monitor their performance and make sure that they're on schedule, that they're not overspending based on the budget that was provided for them. And then once they've delivered everything satisfied, then we close out that contract. That's just a gist in a nutshell. Got it. Okay.
Okay, but I got you there. And then like I was wondering like what made you want to
Hmm.
you went from doing trauma and crisis work to doing that.
Hmm.
It's like a that's an interesting transition. What made you want to transition?
Well, just my heart is in people, helping people, people who are in a kind of disadvantaged situation, so to speak, and providing resources and means for them to live a more fulfilled life, or to help them tap into things that they're not aware of or what's not available to them. And so when I transitioned to acquisition, it was on the recommendations of.
So it could be argued if that was the best question to move the sales process forward. But the reason why I asked that on this call was because it was I mean, I was just genuinely curious. It was a two different, completely different industries. And when you ask a question like that, it reveals insight to their motivation and what they care about. Like, for example, 2019, I went from working Domino's Pizza to sales. And then if you ask me what made you want to do that, then I'll kind of just indirectly tell you, well, I'm very ambitious. I have all these dreams, all these things I wanted to do, right? So it gives you a lot of insight to what they actually care about and what their goals are.
A coworker who told me it was a good opportunity or something different. You could broaden your knowledge base, just broaden experiencing. And so when I got into it, I said, okay, it's interesting. It's not my heart and my passion, but it's decent, for what it is. And I've always been into personal development, so I'm not the type of person who strictly sticks to one path because I'm also in the field of engineering too. So I don't limit my talents or my ability just to one industry or a one stream or way of being. So I have multiple interests, so to speak. Okay, cool. Okay, let's see what else here.
Here,
Hmm.
hold on. The question I had was in my mind, but
Uh-huh.
it's kind of also one lie. It's a moment where my mind kind of blanked for a second. Was in a smooth flow in the process and kind of lost it. But that's okay. I didn't like in the past. So you just for all you very analytical people like trying to follow the process and follow the scripts to a tight T. I used to be that way too, and I used to be like, oh, if I fuck up, then the whole call's over. Like it's irredeemable after the price drops. But that's not actually true. You can fuck up throughout the call, and it's death by a thousand cuts. And also, you've heard that saying, but it's also you win by a thousand, I don't know, victory by a thousand cuts, right? So the accumulation of the calls is like what matters the most. So even though here I'm just like, oh, what's going on? I don't know. I still was still a very good call. Obviously, I don't want to repeat that, which is why I reviewed the tape. Think like, oh wait, why did I space out? Like, how could I've asked what question should I've asked, etc. And I also another a powerful belief I have rolling into closing calls is I don't need this is what I read on my state checklist before I go into every call is just one of the beliefs. I have a lot more, but this is a powerful one is I don't need to be perfect to close at 50%. And when I tell myself that, I feel this sense of power, like relief. It's like, okay, just have to show up, gonna give it everything I got, put it all on the table, and I'm still gonna close at 50%. Like I don't need to be perfect to close at half, which is an incredible marker in this industry, as you all know, right? All right, let's get back into it. It's coming back to me right now. Okay, yeah, this is what I was gonna ask. So I know this is the first time you've like formally looked into AI training and stuff. Like, have you? But before this, like, have you done any like other courses or any AI education or any spoken AI services about that or no?
I have a credential in acquisitions, AI acquisitions, and I earned that in 2024. So that was the most formal education that I've received thus far.
What did it teach you?
AI for acquisitions.
Did that in 2024. All right, cool beans. And then walk me through like 2026 goals. Like really, I mean, obviously you're trying to make money with AI and potentially explore career and new career paths in the consulting. But like what do you want to achieve in 2026 specifically?
So that's a good question because I had planned on mapping it out this weekend. My main objective, I would say, it will be to increase my revenue and get into doing something that I enjoy, not just for a habit, but for a additional source of income. Um, and I'm at a point where I've done a lot of research, a lot of studying, a lot of reading, but like not applied that knowledge or that skill set to make revenue for myself. So my goal is to transition from that learning mode, that gathering information mode, to applying that and making an income for myself.
You know, something you said twice is like, yeah, I remember you saying that with your current line of work, it's okay, but it's not something you're necessarily passionate about. And then you just now said like you want to do something more that you enjoy. Um, you know, a lot of people like like how did my question is like why like it seems like you have a decent line of work. I know you said you're always in self-development improvement,
Right.
but like why is like continuing to do your current line of career? Why is that something you just don't want to do anymore?
It's not that I don't necessarily want to do anymore. I want to do something that fulfills me, that I stated before, I thoroughly enjoy doing.
Okay. And then you were saying didn't explain this earlier, but you notice how I used a lot of context in the previous conversation to ask a question. Well, if you just kind of read your next question and it doesn't have a lot of context behind it, or it doesn't consider what they said before, it's very easy for them to be like, oh, well, like I said, oh, well, like I said, which is a subconscious thing people do when they feel like they've already said the thing, which sometimes is bullshit, but but that's the subconscious thing people do when they feel like they're not being understood. So when that happens, I mean, just a side lesson, then it's on you to over communicate, to give a lot of context to pretty much make it undeniable that you are listening, you're retaining, and the questions you're asking do have meaning behind it. And they're just not like, wait, why the fuck are you asking me these questions, bro? Just tell me what the program is. Because if you don't do that enough, then you're going to get that. Then they're going to slowly start to get pissed off. You'll hear it in their tone. And then they're just going to be like, what the fuck's the program? How much does this cost? Right? It's not a fun call. Then you kind of, then it's kind of tough at that point, right? So wanted to take measures to avoid that. You're more of like passion is helping is more like for people, you know, you get a lot of fulfillment from, you know, helping them kind of live, helping them achieve their fullest potential.
Right. Yeah. So, like,
As an AI consultant, like how do you think, like what are some of the ideas that you have that you think could allow you to start doing that and be more like in alignment there?
so that would probably be more so on a business side, on how to help businesses rather better perform within the organization, expediting certain processes and producing faster results and not have so much energy spent on certain things that humans are currently doing and make more automated. Now, as far as an individual, other than maybe creating some type of app or and I don't know that mean much about agents, but maybe some type of agent or something to help them like process information, process emotions, or something that direct them to certain resources. I don't know how that would apply on an individual level, but on the business side of the house, I can see where it's more practical.
So that would be the main focus.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you decided to make a service that was more for business to consumer, which you could.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you're not like fully clear on like what market you could service or what problem exactly you can solve, that's no worries.
Uh-huh.
That's why people join the program. Um, you said you were wanting to increase your revenue. So how much money do you want to make in 2026?
Exactly. I would say about 120,000.
Okay. Okay. What do you make currently?
About 85.
Okay. Now let's just say you accomplish that. Like for you, what's kind of like the next goal? Like what's kind of like we're really like at the end of the day, like what's the means to end all this? Like what's the ultimate goal? Now, before I did this, like just me reviewing this now, I would have asked like, okay, seemed like you thought of that 120. Like, why is that important to you personally? And get her to say that, and then like instead of, and then this is how I sequence my goals is the way you just saw it. Then also just kind of explain the mindset here. When you ask people their goals or what they want to avoid the frivolous, bullshitty reasons like I want to travel and blah 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 blah. I want generational wealth and those buzzword marketing terms, right? And I'm just trying to get this tier two. How I like to think about it is what actually matters. Like, what's the ultimate goal here? What are we trying to achieve? What's the means to ends to all this? One of those questions, right?
So the ultimate goal is to have a certain lifestyle where I don't have to worry about, really it's about freedom of time. And my ability to kind of navigate life on my own terms, with my time, to do more traveling, to do more work within the community, to not be held down, so to speak, by 9 to 5, but to have more of an ability to kind of, let's say, live life on my own terms, so to speak.
Do you feel like you don't live life enough on your own terms right now?
No, I don't. Mm-mm.
Why do you feel that way?
It's time.
Something I learned a long time ago is when they give you a goal, like kind of like a low level goal, like kind of like how she was just doing here. It's good to inverse that goal. So like, oh, I want to travel more. I want to spend more time with my kids. I want to do this. I want to make more money. Do you feel like you don't make enough money right now? Do you feel like you don't travel enough right now? Do you feel like you don't spend enough time with your kids right now? They'll be like, no, tell me more about that. What's going on?
Like I said, working a 9 to 5, and then on the weekend it's running errands and getting caught up on things that could be accomplished during the week.
You were saying part of it is giving back to the community. Like, what do you feel like you're missing out on right now?
Just connecting to the community, period. I used to volunteer, but I've gotten away from that. But like working at food banks or volunteering at different community centers, just being a support within the community. So I would like to get back to being more active in that.
Okay, this is very very interesting. I have a lot of people, tell me some interesting things, but I don't hear that often. That you know, like, man, I wish I could give more time to the community. Like, that's not something I hear a lot. Like, it probably because like a lot of people are selfish naturally. So why is this like really like why is this so important for you personally?
Because it goes back to, yeah, to my passion of helping people. I mean, it's just where that come from though? I have always been that way. I've always had a heart for people, and I don't like seeing people struggle. I don't see like people going through unnecessary changes because they don't have the resources or the awareness that there are different options or better options. So it's just always been a part of who I am.
Um, so she gave me the call was conducted so well that she didn't give me objections in the close. But if she did, and if she was ever like, if I ever like really wanted to like slap her around for her to say, I would use these words. Hey, so the reason I'm passionate about this is you know how you're saying you don't like to see people suffering unnecessarily. You could do this without us, but like, do you have like the thousands of lifetimes of experiences of us helping clients in your same shoes that we do? We can, I want to help you from that suffering. We've gotten this far in the call because I know we can do that. Right. Said something like that, relate it back to what she cares about and like why we're actually the same. We have the same vision, you know. It's just like kind of ammo you can keep in the back pocket, right? But call was conducted so well that didn't need to do all that, which is great. That's actually, that's a pretty ideal call. Okay, cool. And then for you, creating that lifestyle that where you don't feel like you have to go to work, you essentially have created a lifestyle where you can just do things on your own terms with who you want, when you want, with and give back in the way that you really want to. How much how much money do you really need to be able to accomplish that?
That's a good question. I never thought about that.
Well, that's something else I like to do. Like if how our goal earlier was like only 85K to 120K a year or something. People usually aren't going to justify purchasing a high ticket program unless the goal is 4 to 5 times more that than what they're actually making now. It's not a set rule. I've kind of heard that somewhere. It's like it's got to be like a very large amount to feel like a transformation, like a big transformation. So a way I like to do that is, asking ultimately what the goal is, and then just be like, well, how much money do you need to make that? And that forces them to give a really specific number. Okay, a number that actually has meaning now, not just some marketing buzzword. Because 120K, well, that's just 10K a month, right? We've heard that shit 1,000 times. We need to have them think of a number that actually has meaning in their heart.
hmm, I would say it won't be. I'm just thinking if I was to not have my 9 to 5 and I was making the same amount of money, but I was living on my own terms.
I could probably accomplish that because the main factor is the time.
So essentially, if we were making at least the same amount of income, but not like tied down to a 9 to 5,
Yeah, it would
that would
be.
be able to accomplish.
I believe so, yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Then yeah. Um, and then last question.
hmm
Alicia, so we're very clear on like what we want it, why it's important us. So
hmm
that's great. Now
hmm
we see with a lot of our tops, let's see with a lot of our great students, they're not just clear. Alicia really is big on us defining with someone not just like what they want, why they care
hmm
about it, but also like what's at stake if they don't get it, meaning like what are the consequences for actions? Because when you
hmm
understand that, you kind of give yourself like a secondary level of motivation, if you want to call it that,
hmm hmm
to really make sure hitting your goals is just inevitable. So for you, like, let's just imagine that we're still like in a similar situation as we are now 2 years ago. Like,
hmm
what would that mean for you? How would that make you feel?
If I was in a similar situation 2 years ago, 2 years from now, I wouldn't feel like I've accomplished anything. No. No, I wouldn't feel like I've advanced or had I guess a significant impact if I'm still in the same place 2 years ago that I am now because I'm not 100% satisfied with where I am right now. So I just don't feel like I've made any significant improvements or achievements.
Why
So,
is that a
hmm
why is that a why is that a stuttering so much here? Why is
hmm
that a why is that a problem though? Because a lot of people
You see, probably. Why is it a problem? Because I deserve more for myself.
having them reinforce what they care about.
I deserve it. And I don't want to stay in the same spot when I know there's so much more possibilities and potential. And if I don't move forward, then I'm not able to tap into that possibility or to even to help people or to connect in a meaningful way. And no, I just hope that I don't stay in the same spot 2 years from now. An important, like,
Language distinction. Like, can I talk to you as a coach for a minute?
absolutely. Yeah.
We do see this as like the first coaching call if you do work with us. Definitely want to stray from using the words hope because that just kind of puts the control in some other thing that's not yourself.
uh-huh.
When you are very when you have good language, like for example, not I hope, but I'm going to,
hmm
like science, like I don't know the scientific way of explaining it, but that creates a very powerful, that communicates very deep with your subconscious
hmm
to then make it reality.
hmm
So you were telling me about this earlier, but again, just really want to hammer home on this. It's really important.
uh-huh.
But I definitely know that this plan that let me back up. At this point in life, like, are you ready to like draw a line and saying like out of researching and doing stuff, but
hmm
researching and info gathering and actually do actionable steps that are going to put you in the position so you don't have to look at a reality like that 2 years ago where you could have accomplished a lot more, where you could have gave back to your community at the highest level.
Right, correct. Yes. Okay, sweet.
Um, well, I think I'm very clear on like your situation, what you want.
hmm
Is there anything else you feel like we haven't covered or would be helpful for us to know?
Yeah, so with the certification, we're getting into the details. Yeah, what all does it entail? But more importantly, is once someone is certified, what would be the next step? Is it going to different businesses and informing them that you're certified and these are your skills and how you can help them, or what? How does that?
Yeah, so let me go over it. Before I go over it though, I do
Mhm.
want to say like with what you're trying to accomplish, like who you are as a person, your background and like your experience. I think you're absolutely like perfect fit for like what we're trying to do here. And I
Mhm.
absolutely know if you're wanting to surround yourself with the best AI professionals and really a community that's going to give you every reason to succeed in 2026 with AI and just overall becoming the best version of yourself and being able to empower others. I don't think
Mhm.
there's a better place you can do it than this. So
Sure.
let me explain to you like how we actually help. Do you have a pen and paper?
Oh yes. Mhm.
All right. So to give you a brief overview,
Mhm.
in order to get you to a spot as a certified AI consultant, always make sure they can write whatever I'm saying down. It helps process the info in their mind a lot better.
Mhm.
Where you're making at least 20 to 25K a month with the
Mhm.
upwards potential to do more if you want. We're going to give you three main pillars of our support system.
Mhm.
Everything that we're going to teach you, same exact strategies that Lisa used with her clients that have made them do so incredibly well, and what she actually used in her own business, which
Mhm.
on how she does such a good job, doing all the cool stuff she does, how she does a good job like attracting her tribe, and how she actually landed a private AI consulting contract with NASA.
Mhm.
So pillar one is going to be core training and implementation.
Mhm.
Okay. So you're
Going to receive a full step-by-step curriculum of the key AI tools for businesses. So not just basic things like ChatGPT, but the whole broad stack.
Mhm.
Everything that every practical use AI has in a business in 2026 that will help a business with being improved in sales, marketing, operations, finance, logistics, everything A through Z. There's so many different AI tools.
Okay.
It gets really overwhelming. So we're just giving you our complete blueprint of all like the most practical ones that actually move the needle for the most.
Okay.
Right? We're going to teach you how to patch that into well, bottlenecks. And you were asking about this earlier, but we're going to teach you how to take all the info that we give you for cost or drive more revenue.
Mhm.
We're going to teach you how to, you were asking about this earlier, but we're going to teach you how to take all the info that we give you and package that into a core offer for your business.
Mhm.
So really diving deep on exactly what market you're going to serve.
Okay.
Anytime when you can relay the pitch back into something of what they said earlier is great. So like, how you're saying earlier, you were wanting to do this. So this is what we're going to do to help you with that. What problem you're going to solve, how the solution is going to look like. There's probably at least 100 opportunities within what you do and your relevant experience. Like what a lot of people do is just work with the businesses that they're already familiar and comfortable with, thinking about it. Like they're working a job. Like we have people like literally just help enhance AI with AI with business work with and actually got paid a lot for it in a segment that you want to do.
Okay.
Foundations of building a reputable brand, how to get clients, all of
Mhm.
our strategies on that, and then constantly walking them through the sales process so you can actually make money.
Okay.
Everything's laid out so that you market and sales letters for them.
so
It was a big bump for her career and acquisitions business consulting,
Mhm.
something in that industry, right? I can't remember exactly what it was. Given stories, he was doing decently well for himself already. Like he already knew kind of like the businesses. He had like a good grasp, but he wasn't starting us from zero. Stories that are relevant to them, if possible. Basically, like he didn't really know anything about AI or how to get certification to justify charging his clients an extra 5 to 8. It just brings your value up for what you can do as a service provider.
Mhm.
Program. We're also going to give you a series of real world projects where you can apply to coach you.
Okay.
And then once you pass these series of requirements, it's kind of like that. We give you the projects to work on.
Oh yes, it does.
Okay. And this, and then as far as like getting results with this is a powerful pre-seed I do in my pitch. That's not technically the pitch, but I think has worked really well for just getting them in the mindset of taking action and not thinking about it, etc. It's actually people think it's time, which is obviously important, but that's actually like not the most important thing to ensure that you get results with this. Although the more time you put in, the faster you can complete the program and like the faster you get results, right? The more important thing, and this is the number one quality we see among our top students that I've seen among business professionals who are extremely good at what they do, and really anyone who's good at what they do, is their ability to have great speed to implementation. Meaning, we give them a piece of info, and they go take action on that. Now, just a small speech thing I could have done there was just pause after a big point I'm trying to make. Like when you try to make a big point, just say, just pause. So the best thing on the planet Earth is meatballs. And then your brain actually processes that right away.
Mhm.
Or versus being the person that kind of stalls, hesitates, thinks about it, delays. Because here's the thing, like when you're stepping into this new arena,
Mhm.
it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to make you feel anxious. It's going to make you want to retreat
Mhm.
and contract.
Right.
But actually that is the perfect, like if you feel that, that's actually how you know where that's for me, it's always been a way of knowing that's exactly how I know where I need to be.
I agree. Yes.
Because in the areas that you're already good at, you don't feel like you're reaching your fullest potential. And you don't feel like
Mhm.
you're growing anymore. So
Right.
I always really encourage our students like lean into that. Like it's okay. You're going to feel anxious. You're going to make some mistakes. You might not get everything perfect, but if you can just continuously follow the process because it works, then you'll be fine. This is why we have so many students who are easily making their return on investment back before they even graduate. This is why I have so many students, doing all these amazing things. And that's why we say everything that you need to make 15 to 80K a month is already within this program as long as you implement.
So that's pillar one, but what questions you have there?
So a lot of powerful pre-seeds and a lot of questions that get avoided. So people like to ask, oh, when do I start making money? I kind of said, like, look, if you fucking work, you'll make money before the program's up. I didn't say that directly though, because that's FTC uncompliant, but just kind of indirectly said, hey, if you work, you'll make money before the investment stuff, right? Yeah, just acknowledging that, you're here, it's going to feel uncomfortable because the things you're already good at, you're comfortable and you don't feel fulfilled, like you were saying earlier. So that's how at least for me, that's how I know I'm stepping into a new area of growth. And if you can just lean into that with us, follow the process because it works. We've proven that. Again, just reaffirming that shit works, then you'll be fine.
So, the question that came to mind is, so when you're going through the certification, did you say that there's a coach there with you to kind of help you through the process?
Support. So mentorship, coach, you create a custom game plan of exactly what the next 3 months are going to look like. So we do this to ensure at no point during this process experience that you're wondering, hey, where do I find this? Like, what do I do now? Or, anything like that. So we eliminate all that with the first onboarding call. On top of that, you're going to get access to live calls with Alicia. This is the opportunity where you can chat directly to her, ask the questions you have, get the help you need. On top of that, you're also going to be paired with an extremely active community where you can get daily support from the coaches and the fellow students in the community. We have people in there from so many wonderful backgrounds who've accomplished so many amazing different things. People in there making multiple 5 figures a month, people making multiple 6 figure a month. So you have the opportunity to connect and draw from a reservoir of people who are like far ahead of you on this journey. And also people who are like working alongside you too. So it's just very collaborative. Also, you might have got the sense by now, but it is like 77% women. So you kind of have that common ground of empowering other people to act. Like for those of you who sell mostly women programs, this is the first time I've done it, and they love hearing this shit for some reason. Like they love it. They love it. So I mean, just fucking say like, yeah, it's a girl power club, right? And a lot of them love this. Here to make an impact. We're here to try to achieve. We're here to make financial freedom. We're here to empower others and serve our communities. So that's why like we really built this to be very collaborative, much more than just like some like standard course or program, but really a community and a movement. So how do you feel about having access to an environment like that, like with other people who are far ahead of you?
Oh, that's great because I prefer to learn from people who have more expertise and have wisdom to guide someone.
So temp check question type thing,
who can help.
Which is something you want to do throughout your pitch to make sure they're actually understanding what you're telling them and they're engaged and they're bought in.
You have those tough questions, they have answers versus they don't know or don't know where to direct you to a resource to help. So, on that support to be a part of.
Catrice, for example, she actually came in with no clarity. Like she didn't really like understand like AI either. Like she was just she was just working her job she didn't really like, and she just wanted like a better path. And she knew like AI. I intentionally tailored this story to be very similar to hers. So, anytime you can do that, it's powerful. Would be it. She just didn't really know how to tool. So, but that's okay. Do something like practical with it versus like all these crazy tools. So, but that's okay. That's what the Queen of AI is here to solve. So basically, she goes through the course materials, gets like a lot of good quality information there. She gets on with Alicia. She gets on with the coaches. She gets feedback from some of the students. She uses all that info. It gave her tremendous clarity. She then knew exactly what she needed to do to, get going, like what service of the market she can offer, like what clients she can serve. She created an offer. She went out and got some clients, and she made her money back before she even graduated. So that's happening all the time. Like there's like every single resource you need to make this work is in here. You just have to use it. Like that's literally all we're asking. Like we can't show up at your door and do this work for you. Like you have to do this for yourself. As long as you can do it, then you'll be fine.
Okay.
That's what reinforcing that we're fucking good at what we do, but it is whose responsibility is it? It is yours though.
What questions you have?
And just a side thing that came to my mind, I had a couple of experiences selling these offers, like these really strong guarantees and blah blah, and this shit. And I actually had the least success doing that. I probably honestly didn't know. I honestly didn't do it right, but I found a lot more success in general with most of my sales if you just say like, look, our shit works, but you got to put in the work, right? It's got to be hard. You almost like sell by pushing away.
Now, is this a self-paced or how is it structured?
Self-paced.
It is. Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's the only question. Mhm.
Cool. Let's move on to pillar 3 then. It's going to be visibility,
Okay.
CPD accredited AI consultant certification, YouTube and Instagram slot. And here, a springboard to book even more live speaking slots, like the Shaw conference in LA, where she got paid.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're not there yet, that's okay. We'll teach you everything we know about selling to really, and you want to work the least and make the most as possible. Events are undoubtedly, like once you get good at running events, that's when you're just going all out. But it definitely does help. Don't have the time. All the support materials for like all. Um, we designed this and we made this with the intention of this being your one-stop shop and lifetime guide to AI mastery. So AI will constantly be developing and changing. It's already changing really fast. So you're going to get all moving updates moving forward. We're always going to be updating the course. There's no additional cost to anything. And through all that, like this is how we're able to help people achieve things they never thought they knew were possible. And, achieving new levels of income, replacing their jobs, creating these thriving businesses, being able to empower themselves and others, giving back to their communities, and all that cool stuff.
So I know
that sounds good, especially pillar 3.
So obviously when you end your pitch, end it strong, energy high. Obviously my program has a really good deliverable there with it being like a lifetime and, all this kick-ass shit. So that helps. I've definitely sold programs that didn't have that, and you can still do it. You just have to make it sound nice.
Yes.
right on.
No, I know I just kind of talked a lot. I vomited a lot of words, but that is the support system of the certification program. What questions do you have?
Well, hold on, go back.
Oh, something I didn't say earlier, but when I temp check or I'm making sure they're following with me, I always ask, what questions do you have, assuming they have them, not do you have any questions? Because do you have any questions is a no-oriented question. If you want to learn more on the philosophy, read Chris Voss. But if you ask a yes or no question, basically it's easier for the other person to say no by default. So in a situation like this, if you say like, do you have any questions? Like, no, I'm good. All right, it's easier to decline. Like subprimally, it's easier for us to say no to stuff than to say yes to stuff. It's less risky. So that's why I asked just what questions do you have, assuming they have them.
I mean, I don't have many questions because a lot of it, it resonates with me. Um, I don't have a lot of questions. I mean,
Instead of just jumping in and being dumb, I'll just give her the space to, like, I'm trying to, like, at this point now, after the pitch is over, we're right before price drop. Now, this is the time where we have to weed out those last bits of uncertainty and get clear commitment that they absolutely want to work with us. It's just besides the price, right?
it's pretty clear cut, based on the information you provided. The 3 pillars are clear. I think it provides a great opportunity not only to have AI mastery, but it's upward potential, unlimited potential actually. And I like the lifetime access to it too. So you'll have that for life. So I think that's good. So I really don't have any other questions.
Right.
I'm just curious, like on a scale of like 1 through 10, like 10 being like, I have no doubt this is exactly where I need to be, best thing I've ever heard, and 0 being like, nah, bro, sorry, this ain't it. Where do you where do you feel like you're at?
It's an 8.
That's pretty decent. That's pretty high actually. Actually, I wanna review this part really quick because this is a good learning lesson here.
8.
Okay.
That's you see my face. I was reviewing this and I was like, oh my God. Like I remember in the moment I was like, I was kind of thrown off a bit by that because I was like, I expect her to say 10. I thought she was like digging everything. And she said an 8, which is still a good rating, right? But it kind of caused me to be a bit surprised. Um, Obviously it's a skill that takes a while to get good at, but not getting surprised in sales. Like there's nothing that this person can say to you that's surprising, that is something you haven't heard before, that's unokay for them to say. And on a Zoom call, especially, I've been told this in the past. That's why I worked on it a lot. I still clearly need to work on it. It's with facial expressions in general and body language, it's hard to hide that. So you could do a lot of stuff to hide it, or a powerful belief you just give yourself is, I don't get surprised by anything. People pushing back, that's to be expected. I'm prepared for everything. So, you have less situations like this. So even though this could because the rest of the call went well, my little like thing didn't matter, and I kind of picked myself up pretty quick. That's pretty decent. That's pretty high, actually. What makes you an 8?
It's an 8 because it sounds like it has what I need. Um, like I said, I've explored AI. Like they said, the future's already here. So I know, like, I really feel like to understand and master AI now is critical, and having that skill set, it will carry you far. And like you said, the support that you receive, you're getting, well, I'll be getting the information and support from like the best of the best. And that's important to me because you want high quality people and resources and things you can lean on. And also the opportunities that are available, like the speaking engagements, which is key because you want to be able to communicate to potential clients what you have to offer, and also the referrals. So it also provides you opportunities, to put yourself out to the market per se. And once again, the lifetime assets. So overall, I mean, it sounds like a very solid program, and the fact that it's accredited too is impressive. So it sounds like a very solid program.
Nice.
Mhm.
Very good notes as well.
Mhm.
What's keeping you from being, with all that said, what's keeping you
Mhm.
from being an 8 to a 10?
So the 8 to 10 is I'm not sure the cost of the program.
Okay.
And so once I know that, I'll have a better understanding how financially I can move forward with it. Because like I said, I just don't know how much it will cost at this point.
Okay.
Let me rephrase my question.
Mhm.
Like, how do you feel about everything we talked about?
Mhm.
Just minus the price. Like, take that out of
Waiting for a
I'll take
second.
that out. That will be
Yeah.
it'll be a 10.
All right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, sweet.
Okay, so you want to talk about. All right, so I got all the tie downs that she absolutely wants to do. This is just the price, right? It's the most powerful place you want to be before price dropping. What the investment will look like in next steps.
Yes, please. Mhm.
Okay, so it's very simple. So once you process the investment with me, you're
Mhm.
going to receive a series of confirmation texts and emails.
Mhm.
One is going to be with clearly laying out the onboarding with an order intake confidently. So we need you to fill this out so our team is prepared for your onboarding call,
Mhm.
and we can kick that off with no problems.
Okay.
And also, it's our way of making sure that it's our way of making sure that we can keep track of your progress in the program. Number
Mhm.
2, you're gonna get an agreement. So basically, this just says like, don't resell our stuff and
Mhm.
don't act with poor character and follow community standards. 3, you're gonna get access to the private community. You get access to the course materials and all of your
Mhm.
resources we have to provide. And
Okay.
then lastly, 5th, you're gonna receive a link to book your onboarding call with your coach. You're gonna map out exactly what the next 9 days are gonna look like and kick off from there.
Okay.
Everything clear so far?
Oh yes. Mhm.
Okay. And for everything we talked about,
Mhm.
there's only one time with no recurring of 5K.
Okay. That's not bad. Okay. And this one time. So there's no installments or anything.
So like Alex Mosley likes to say, after you ask for the sale, shut the fuck up. We
Like
we
maybe
have
like half and half or anything like that.
flexibility if if like this is like I want to do it, but it's just I need like half and half, then
Mhm.
Alicia gives us some flexibility. It's just making sure like that's the only concern you have.
Right. Oh, it is. It is. Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
Mhm.
So if we do half and half, all good.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right, cool. All right, can I welcome you to the family?
You can. Yes.
All right.
All right, I'm excited for you. Welcome to the family.
Oh,
All right,
thank you.
just give me 30 seconds.
And
Okay.
wonderful.
Okay, so I obviously didn't show the rest of that, right? But call was so good. Even at the end, she was like, "Do I text you to make the second payment, or how's that done?" And she made the second payment like no issues at all. So it was a pretty textbook call, in my opinion. If that was at all helpful, great. If you know anyone that could benefit from watching that, send it to them. Share the love, and yeah, let's keep crushing it. See you guys later.